Hey there, Pete Winarski from the Business Consultant Institute here. And you might know my consulting company, Win Enterprises, or you might know me as a best-selling author, or perhaps from the Business Consultant Institute, which I founded with Terry Levine. Today's quick discussion is about consulting and you building your consulting company and then taking it into the stratosphere. We'll talk about 3 important reasons that you should consider adding consulting to your business model right now. And we'll also talk about things that you need to do to get started. Are you ready to go? I'll give you a few seconds. Go grab a pen. You want to take notes right now. All right, let's imagine this scenario. What if you became recognized as the go-to person in one or more topics? And what if you suddenly had clients asking for your help from anywhere in the world? And what if you could sell your services without really even selling? And what if you could charge higher fees because you have a solid reputation for creating tons of value for your clients? And what if you could earn the income level you want and also enjoy an abundance of time off? Does all of this sound like a stretch? Well, I used to think so too. But then it happened to me. Here's my quick story. In my first year of opening my consulting business, I had a nice 6-figure income. And in fact, I tried not to work on Fridays and Mondays. And sure, I did struggle on many occasions in those first years. But lots of persistence and then figuring out how to solve these challenges did pay off. And now I run a 7-figure consulting company, and I've worked with lots of small local clients as well as the big global clients, names you would probably be familiar with. I've worked around the world. My team just this past year has been in the United States and South America and Europe. We've got client conversations about doing some work in Asia. We are all over the place. This is what's possible. And all of this is really cool because I consider myself somewhat of a regular guy. We hear stories about consultants having to have that MBA from Harvard or some Ivy League school. And sometimes that is true in the mega huge consulting firms. But it's not true all the time, and it certainly wasn't true for me. I didn't grow up with any special treatment or the proverbial silver spoon in my mouth. I was the oldest of 7 kids. My dad's high school salary, high school teacher salary is what got us through. And we all had to pretty much learn to fend for ourselves and create our own careers. In fact, I'm probably a lot like you. The thing that I want you to realize based on my story is that if I was able to pull this off, then it's certainly possible for you to do it too. Now, my path there was probably a lot longer than what it will take you, especially if you can learn from all of my mistakes. And I'll tell you what they are. Just don't make them yourself. Now, early in my career, I had some exposure to a number of different consultants that our company hired. And in fact, part of my role, I was assigned to work with them and learn from them so that I could teach others inside of my company. And it was a ton of fun. The work itself was fun. It was engaging. It was exciting. It was learning. It was applying new ideas. The travel was fun because I did have to travel to some other cool cities and have the opportunity to help out other parts of our company because we were more than just one location. And of course, the dinners, having dinner with the consultants, going to restaurants I probably wouldn't have gone to normally, that was all part of what was cool and what was a lot of fun. And I began to notice something while I'm hanging out with these consultants. They had a lot of authority, and we were listening to their ideas and following their guidance. And yes, they traveled to some really cool places, not just with our company, but with lots of other companies. And they clearly earned pretty good money with pretty high consulting fees. Consulting fees that our company was happy to pay. But I noticed something else as well. These consultants were regular people who just happened to be in a consulting role. In fact, over time, I felt that there were some areas that I knew as much or more than they did. And that's when the light bulb went off for me. I could be a consultant too. Now, it was a few years later before I decided it was time for me to start my business. I waited. But you could choose to become a consultant right now. Or maybe you're one of those people listening here who's already made that decision, but you want a higher level of revenue or more time off. You may already be aware of how awesome having this thriving consulting business could be for you. In fact, here are 3 important reasons that you should consider consulting right now. Reason number 1, consulting is a thriving industry. The consulting industry is estimated to be at least $100 billion per year. That's B for billion. That was the Forbes estimate, and there's another outfit that estimates up to $245 billion a year. That's a really big pie. You only need a small slice of that pie. In addition, the industry is growing, expected to grow by 83% by 2018. That's an amazing stat. Here's what's cool. When you're going into a new industry that's growing and is strong, your business will rise with the tide. You will grow and be strong too. Here's reason number 2. You probably have the skills and expertise that people will pay you for right now. So if you have any how-to products or expertise or service, if you have a business where you teach your customers how they can get the most from your products or service, if you have ever had someone ask you for advice or asked you, how did you do that? If you are really successful at something, anything, then you are already a consultant. You may not be getting paid what you're worth, but you are a consultant right now. For example, I have people ask me questions about consulting all the time. Why? Because I have a successful consulting business. So now I consult to consultants. See how that works? Reason number 3, consulting can be lucrative with a high income and a flexible lifestyle. You get to choose what's more important to you, and maybe you want both. And this is true even for new consultants. I read recently that startup consultants earn 500% more than other startup businesses, and that includes internet marketing. So wouldn't you agree that consulting is a good option for you to spend a little time and invest in growing that business? Go ahead and decide to go for it as a consultant. Or take the results that you're getting and rocket them up to the next level, just like I did. Remember, I've grown my consulting business from 6 figures in my first year to over 7 figures. And now that you know what's possible for you as a consultant, I'm going to help you get started and share with you some things you'll need to do right out of the gates. You'll need to define your expertise. You'll need to decide which consulting approach is best for you. Identify your target market and your perfect client. You'll need to learn how to charge consulting fees that are in line with your value, because chances are you're not charging enough. You'll need to develop consulting skills to continue to maximize the value for your clients. Study the business side of consulting to maximize your revenue and your profit. You want to build a healthy client funnel. You'll need to master the art of launching new engagements. You'll need to write winning proposals. You'll need to get contracts in place with clients and with contractors. And there's lots of other things that you'll need to do as you grow from a startup to a six-figure or then a seven-figure consulting company and beyond. There's certainly a lot here. Now, if I could show you a simple way to get started quickly, would you be interested? Well, I've got one for you. Register for this virtual training called How to Turn Your Expertise into Profits as a High-Paid Consultant. Now, you might expect to pay more than $200 for this training. But if you register right away, this training is free. Consider it our gift to you because we want to see you get out of the gates the right way and succeed quickly. Now, I was lucky. I knew an awful lot about consulting before I got started and hit that six figures mark in my first year. And it took quite a few years before I became a seven-figure company. In fact, in those early years, there were periods when I struggled, and I struggled, and I struggled, until I figured out how to handle those challenges. And then I started to put things in place that made a difference. And that's when I saw my results soar. And I can still remember the phone call that I got from the corporate strategy team at 3M, and the call that I got from Hasbro, and the unexpected email from Xerox, and tons of other unsolicited calls from clients who had heard that I could help them. The way I started, which often included learning lessons the hard way, man, it took a while, but I figured things out and soon built some momentum. If only I knew then what I know now, which is what I want for you. That's why I'm inviting you to this virtual training that Terry and I are holding. Register now for how to turn your expertise into profits as a high-paid consultant. Now remember, we might charge for this training in the future. So register right away, right here, right now, while it's free. Click the button to register now.